production of Fox Sports.
We are Blackmore. We are DIXON.
Tigers baseball on Fox Sports Detroit is presented by
Bell Tire.
Today in Minneapolis, all 9 for Romine will officially happen. Andrew Romine will attempt to become just the 5th player in Major League history to play all 9 positions in one game. Great day for baseball today. Game 2 in the series, Tigers and the Twins. Hi again, everyone, and welcome to Tigers Baseball. Mario and Peppa, Rod Allen, glad to have you with us here for Game 2 of the series. And really, Rod, the big story today is Andrew Romine will get his chance to play all 9 positions.
I'm looking forward to it. It's only been done 4 times in the history of the game. Romine is into it. We heard rumblings last year that he might do it. His family is here. His sisters are here. His wife is here. This is a big day for the Romine family. I'm looking forward to it.
All right, now the other big story as far as the Tigers are concerned happened last night. Nick Castellanos hit a 2-run homer in the first inning of the game, and Castellanos now has reached the 100 plateau in RBIs. You got to love that. He's had a great year.
Well, this has been his coming out party. That would be Nicholas Castellanos. He's basically done everything. Didn't have a whole lot to show for all the balls he was hitting hard at the beginning of the season, but the last couple of calendar months, really nobody's hit the ball as hard as Castellanos on a consistent basis. You talked about all the home runs that he has this year. He also has 10 triples to go along with 25 homers and 100 RBI. Last time that was done, Mr. K-Line did that. So Nicholas Castellanos having a lot of fun these days, and it's really one spot next year the new manager will not have to worry about. You know Nicholas Castellanos is going to bat right in the middle of that batting order along with Miguel Cabrera, either 3rd or 4th, depending on what that manager wants to do. So the middle of the order will be taken care of next year with those 2 guys.
All right, now for the Twins, they're headed to the postseason, and one of the guys they'll be leaning on is a veteran. Joe Mauer has had a lot of injuries the last couple of years, but he seems to be back now.
Well, their manager, Paul Molitor, said they have a lot of really good players, a lot of guys that have had great seasons, but Joe Mauer has pretty much been the most consistent. Since the calendar turned to August, well, he's been Joe Mauer, about .341 as far as the batting average is concerned, but he takes the same pitch and he just moves the ball all around the batting order, all around the baseball field. Take a look at the bat range here, Mauer. Up, down, in, out. Very difficult to defend. And he's only made a couple of errors over at first base. They're touting him at possibly winning a Gold Glove at that position. One of the things that really has helped Mauer is his athleticism. You may remember when he was in high school, this guy was a quarterback and also a really good baseball player. As a matter of fact, the only player in the history of the game, USA Today Player of the Year in football and baseball. So he's a bad dude.
All right, we'll see if the Tigers can handle Mauer today. Stay with us after a short break. We'll send you to the Call Sam Studios. Check in with Mickey York. Coming up today, we're trying to make history. Andrew Romine playing every position on the field. Stay with us. Tigers Twins next. Tonight for game 2 in this series featuring the Tigers and the Minnesota Twins. And there is Andrew Romine pondering what is ahead of him tonight, and that would be playing all 9 positions in this ball game. Here's the starting lineup for the Tigers presented by the Southeast Michigan Ford dealers. This is how it looks tonight. It'll be Presley, Machado, and Castellanos. Nick at third base to start this game. Navarro is at first, then McCann. Holiday will catch. Romine will start the game in left field and then move around as we continue. Jacoby Jones in center, and then Jose Iglesias will bat 9th. They are facing Aaron Sleggers, and he is presented by MGM Grand Detroit.
Sleggers had an outstanding campaign this year down in the minors, going 15-4 with an outstanding earned run average. You see the whip is outstanding, a shade over 119 strikeouts, but more importantly, only 29 base on balls. About 91 with his fastball. He's about 16% with his slider, and he has a pretty good changeup. Take a look at the Twins defensive alignment here today. Different center fielder, Buxton not in, and Granite gets the start in center field, and Adrianza getting the start at second base. Dozier not in the starting lineup.
So here we go. We've got baseball here tonight from Minneapolis. It'll be Alex Presley getting set to lead things off for the Tigers. The Twins won the opener last night. Despite the Tigers scoring 3 first-inning runs, they could do nothing the rest of the ball game. And Sleggers, the right-hander, who is a big, tall kid, 6'10", 245, out of Long Beach, California.
The LBC.
Here's Presley batting .321 to get things started. Couple of homers. And Alex has hit safely in 6 consecutive ball games. Sleggers goes to work, and the first one home is a strike called on Presley.
Big guy, but not a hard thrower. His fastball probably will top out today at about 92 miles an hour. His average heater anywhere from 88 to 90. Tigers have never seen him before.
And a couple of hops up the middle, scoop to his left by Polanco, and his throw is in time. 1 gone. 6-3 on the rollout to start this ball game here tonight, and that'll bring up Machado. 25 years of age from Long Beach, Mr. Sleggers.
Well, he's got that built-in height frame, built-in height advantage, I should say. 6 feet 10 inches. Throws straight downhill with a pretty good sinker. Probably will be trying to throw a lot of ground balls here tonight to the Minnesota Twins infielders.
Here's Machado batting in the 2 slot tonight, and he looks at a strike. 0-1.
15-4 is a pretty good minor league season.
Really good. In fact, an ERA at 3.5, so he was dealing down in the International League. He was leading the league in wins. There's a ball outside. 1 ball, 1 strike.
He pitched a couple of games against Toledo in the month of July. We were efforting to see if any of these current Tigers played against him those 2 outings.
He went around, says the first base umpire Tim Timmons.
A lot of times, Mario, when a minor leaguer comes up and the big league players that have been in the big leagues all year don't really know them, they will get a scouting report for some of the players that are on the Toledo roster that may have faced him this year.
Here's the 1-2, and he went around, strike 3. Yeah, that could be your best scouting report. Pick the brains of your teammates that have actually seen him in person. I would think maybe a little bit more valuable than watching him on tape.
There's always a little bit of an adjustment period when you're going up against a guy for the very first time, especially when you're going up against a right-hander who is 6 feet 10 inches. There are not many right-handers that are this tall. So right away, that presents some kind of challenge for you because you're not accustomed to seeing balls coming down from this angle.
Here's Castellanos with 2 outs, and Nicholas fouls it back out of play. Nick now a 7-game hitting streak. He extended it with the home run, a 2-run shot in the first inning last night, which vaulted him to 101 runs batted in this year. The 0-1 pitch.
Nick said when he got back to the dugout, his teammates, his coaches, were just as happy for him as he was for himself. And he said that meant a lot to him. Gave a lot of people a lot of credit for where he is today as a professional.
Pretty cool. It was a really cool moment, all the hugs on the bench, especially from Brad Ausmus, who, as we know, will not be here next year. Brad will manage his final Tigers game tomorrow in the series finale. Here's the 1-2 pitch, and Nick fouls it away.
Here's the home run that Nicholas Castellanos hit in the first inning last night against Kyle Gibson for RBI number 100 and 101.
That being his 26th home run of the year, and that's when the hugs followed. Two and two now on Castellanos. Infield playing a bit of pull. Three defenders to the left of second base. The outfield playing the other way a little bit. Two is skied in the air to right field. It's going to be playable for Kepler. And Sluggers has a 1-2-3 first inning. Field today defensively for the Tigers as we go to the bottom of the first inning. Buck Farmer's on the mound for the Tigers, and he is presented by Family Heating, Cooling, and Electrical.
And it's a big start for Buck Farmer. You take a look at his record this year in 10 starts. He has a lot of decisions, 4-5, an elevated ERA at 7.33. Buck has better stuff than that, and he needs to show that here tonight. And as they move into next year's spring training, if he wants one of those spots in the Tigers starting rotation.
Here is Zach Granite to lead things off for the Twins. Dozier getting the day off today, and Granite in the leadoff slot, batting .239.
And good for Dozier. We've seen enough of him this year.
Meanwhile, Granite is 8 for 15 against the Tigers this season.
Hit his first career home run against the Tigers in that 4-game sweep of the Cats in Detroit a week ago or so.
Granite looks at a ball outside, and the count rolls to 2-1. Zach Granite has hit safely in his last 3. He was having a really good year at AAA this year, well over 300. 2-1 is outside from Farmer. 3 balls and 1 strike on the Twins leadoff man. Minnesota and New York, that'll be the wild card game that has officially been set now. With Boston winning today, they will win the American League East. Slapped out of play, 3-2.
Yeah, tomorrow afternoon after that game here, the Tigers will head home, and the Minnesota Twins will head to New York to play against the Yankees. They've had a difficult time of winning postseason games against the Yankees the last decade or so.
(3-2) is slapped toward left field, sinking. Romine will come on to make the play.
Wouldn't it be cool if he was able to get a put out at every position that he plays today?
Here's the starting lineup that the Twins will roll out. You saw Granite there. They've got Mauer and Polanco coming up in their lineup as well. Rosario batting cleanup. And SANO and KEPLER. Escobar, Castro, and Adrianza, your bottom three. The Tigers starting lineup, or I should say Twins starting lineup, presented by the Metro Detroit Chevy dealers. Here is Joe Mauer. And he'll take a strike on the outer edge.
Yeah, Mauer had the evening off last night against the Tigers left-hander Matthew Boyd. Pretty good year. 305 with 7 homers. He's driven in 70. Has really played his best baseball in the last 2 months. His batting average 341 since the calendar turned to August.
Not too many faces on this Twins team that were around when the Twins last made the postseason in 2010. Mauer is one of them. There's a wave and a miss. James Hoy, your home plate umpire. Tim Timmons, your crew chief. Will Little and Stu Sherwater. Here's the 1-2. Mauer is zoning in on 2,000 major league hits. He's not going to get it this year, but he's going to come close. He is 15 shy of the 2,000 mark. Another foul back out of play. Mauer this year 345 against Tigers pitching, and really through the years he has always hit the Tigers well, whether it was in the Metrodome or here at Target Field. Very decorated major league player, batting titles, MVPs, Gold Gloves. And a ball outside as Farmer just missed, low and away.
Had a nice career. Batting average over 300. Closing in on 900 RBI.
Full count now, 3-2. One of the elevated stats this year for Farmer is lefties are batting .310 against him. And he again battling here in this start for at least a good feeling going into the offseason and then into spring camp next year. I think Matt Boyd down the stretch has shown that he's probably going to be good to go in spring camp to be counted on. And Daniel Norris was pretty good in his last outing.
He was. And Matthew Boyd will have an opportunity to come to spring training and not worry about making a team. He'll have an opportunity to come to spring training and get ready for the regular season, which he hasn't been able to do since he's been in the big leagues. And that's big for a lot of the younger pitchers. Michael Fulmer was able to do that this year after his Rookie of the Year campaign last year. Michael Fulmer knew he was going to be on the big league staff, so Michael Fulmer worked on certain pitches during the course of spring training and didn't necessarily have to worry about the results.
I think Norris's issue, though, is staying healthy. If he can do that, he can be a productive member of that rotation going forward.
That's right.
Again, the 3-2. And a battle is won there by Mauer with a walk. It was a lengthy battle.
Tigers defensive lineman here tonight. It's all about Andrew Romine. He is scheduled to play all 9 positions. He is starting in left field here this evening. It'll be interesting to see how Brad chooses which positions he plays and the order that he plays them in.
Here is Polanco. He is batting in the 3 slot, the shortstop. 13 home runs this year for Polanco. And he'll look at a strike in the outer edge. Polanco this year with 74 RBIs. And when you look at those numbers, only Roy Smalley has had more from the shortstop position in Twins history. Fouled back out of play, 0-2. They have gotten really great production out of a lot of their young players. Polanco, Rosario, SANO having a big year before he was injured, although he was activated last night. KEPLER. Still a very young Twins team.
They got nice balance. I mean, they've got some right-handers with some pop. That would be SANO and Dozier. They've got several switch hitters, Polanco, Escobar. Andrianza also a switch hitter. And they got some left-handed bats too, so they got a really nice balanced team.
Paul Molitor will bring his team into the postseason this year after losing 103 games last season. Now Farmer with the 1-2. Twins fouling a lot of pitches off early in this game here in the first inning. Mauer gave Farmer a battle.
Most of his pitches have been up. A lot of times when the opposition is fouling off a lot of your fastballs, that means your ball is up in the strike zone. And most of the pitches to Mauer were up, and that last one that was fouled off by Polanco was up in the strike zone.
Another one. Wasting a pitch that appeared to be in the outside part of the plate. Twins, if they win here tonight and tomorrow, would finish the year with 86 victories. So this was a season in which 86 was good enough to get into the postseason. And that's if they win their last two. Little number off the end of the bat. And no shot for Castellanos. That'll be an infield single for Polanco. It's a tough break there for Farmer. Hey, just a reminder, as you enjoy a cold one, to look forward to Miller Time later in today's game, brought to you by Miller Lights. Here's the cleanup hitter, Eddie Rosario. 1 for 4 in last night's game. Strike one in the outer edge. Rosario sits safely in 16 of his last 21 games. Power numbers jumping this year to 27. He's knocked in 78. Ball one. Farmer's last start came against these Twins, and in that ball game he allowed 8 hits, 5 runs in 5 innings. 5 strikeouts as well. Miguel Sano, if the sun was out, would be casting an imposing shadow.
He sure would.
Outside, 2-1. Also, it appears Sano's one of those guys that likes to get as close as he can to behind home plate.
Yeah, he's cheating a little bit here. He's trying to get a pretty good look to see what Buck Farmer's ball is doing. We've seen some guys even closer than that. This is where he's supposed to be, right there.
Here's the 2-1. High fly ball toward left field. Romine backpedals. He's under it. And the runners will hold. So Andrew in the start in left field gets 2 putouts here early in the game. 2 away. Here is Miguel Sano, who returned to the lineup last night after spending about a month on the disabled list with a stress reaction in his leg. He got 1 at bat last night, grounded back to the mound.
More importantly for the Minnesota Twins is that he was able to run down the line, and it did not look like he was bothered by the injury that's been hampering him for the last month or so.
Ball inside to Sano.
That's where you have to pitch. Miguel Sano. You have to pitch him inside. He's very dangerous. He's got a lot of power. And a lot of times guys that have the kind of power that he has, you have to tie them up. And once they extend their arms and they barrel it up, they do lots of damage.
You want your weird stat of the day?
What is that?
Miguel Sano is heavier than 36 of the 53 Minnesota Vikings. The football team.
He's heavier than 36 of the 56?
36, 53.
Well, we told you he should be playing tomorrow.
He and Vargas. Vargas not in the lineup today. He played last night. Here's the 2-0. 3-0 now on Miguel Sano.
Yeah, you know, Sano has the green light out of San Pedro de Macorís in the Dominican Republic. Usually San Pedro shortstops, middle infielders come out of San Pedro. A lot of middle infielders have come out of San Pedro de Macorís over the years. Not usually big sluggers like Sano.
Ground ball left side, base hit. Bauer coming to third. They're going to stop him there as Romine gets it back in, and now the bases are loaded for the Twins.
Well, you knew Sano had the green light to swing the bat. 3 balls and no strikes. That's a good call by Paul Molitor. He wants his slugger to swing the bat. He wants him to get as many swings as possible because he has missed so much time. They want to make sure he's ready for Tuesday when they go to New York for the playoff game.
They are loaded up with 2 outs, and here is Max Kepler.
And Buck Farmer has walked 1 and given up 2 singles in this inning, but yet he could still get out of this without giving up a run.
Kepler was hitless in last night's game, 0 for 4, and he'll take a strike in the outer edge.
Here's where this team, Minnesota, I've noticed. They won't try to pull the baseball when there's runners in scoring position. It's an unselfish group, a group that likes to keep the line moving, and Kepler will simply try to drive the ball up the middle unless he gets a hanging breaking ball inside.
That Bender missed down low. 1-1. Mauer got it started with a walk, then an infield hit by Polanco. He's at second, and a 2-out single by Sano. And already a 32 pitch first inning for Buck Farmer. Way outside, 2-1. Kepler, good power, 19 home runs. He is knocked in 68. Reaching highs in a lot of different offensive categories this year. And now he's gone to 3-1. So Farmer continues to dig a hole here in the first. Buck came into this game with an ERA approaching 9 in the month of September. 3-1. He walked him. Ball 4. That'll force in a run.
Buck Farmer has seen only 5 batters in the game so far. 6 batters, excuse me, and he's gone 3-ball count on 4 of the 6.
Ooh. He's going to bring an early visit to the mound from Rich Doobie. It'll be an RBI for Kepler. 1-0 Minnesota. And Buck walking Kepler after falling behind 3-1, his second walk in this inning. Now it's going to be Escobar, the number 7 hitter.
And in many ways, the last 40 games, he has been their most dangerous hitter. Escobar has been banging.
Had a big night last night, too.
Yeah, double, homer.
knocked in 3 in the ball game.
Another one of those switch hitters that Paul Molitor has in his lineup. He's got 3 of them in there tonight.
This is why everybody looks at the Yankees as a clear favorite in that game, in the wild card game. But this Minnesota offense can be real dangerous, and if they get a good outing from Santana, why not?
Yeah. If it turns into a bullpen day somehow, some way, I give the edge to the Yankees with that bullpen they have. But if Santana goes out there and pitches the way that they believe that he can pitch, then it might be a closer game than many people believe.
Already action in the Tigers' pen. That is Lewicki. "37 first inning pitches for Farmer. Here's 38. Swing and a miss. He dusted him up top to end the inning. They'll leave him loaded. The Twins get a run, and we go to the second. Sports Detroit is brought to you by Comerica Bank, a part of Detroit and the community since 1849. And by Dodge. At Dodge, the roar of our engines is our battle cry. Welcome to the Brotherhood of Muscle. We're back here at Target Field, where the Twins have an early 1-0 lead. Romine batting in the 7th slot. Has hardly played left field, so he will head out to a different position when we go to the bottom of the second. In the meantime, Sledgers brings it home and throws a strike to EFREN NAVARRO.
Already a lot of first pitch strikes thrown by Slegger.
NAVARRO with a couple of home runs, and both of them were on Saturday against Minnesota a week ago. 1 ball and 1 strike. Slegger's got the Tigers 1-2-3 in the first with a strikeout, a ground out, and a flyout. That'll miss outside, and the count now goes to 2-1.
Take a look at Slegger's delivery here. A lot of times, Mario, guys that stand 6 feet 10 inches, they have a difficult time repeating their delivery, but this big fella has no problem repeating his delivery. And because he's so tall, when he strides toward home plate, man, it looks like he's basically handing the ball to the catcher.
You know, I was looking at some of his numbers because you mentioned in the first inning he really doesn't throw all that hard for a big guy. But he averaged about 6.5 strikeouts per 9 in the minor leagues, and that's not really a lot.
Good changeup, good breaking ball, pitches to a lot of contact.
Ground ball right side, off the glove of Adrianza. It'll go into short right field. That'll be an error.
That's one of the things that Minnesota has done very well this year as a group. They've played really good defense, and they didn't play good defense last year when they lost 103 games.
Hit it right at the second baseman. It'll be an error. Tigers have their first base runner. Here is McCann. James is the DH today for the Tigers. He's hit safely in his last 3 on a swing and a miss. James 1 for 3 last night, a single. He also walked. Fouled back out of play. As this Romine 9 for Romine takes course today, it's going to be interesting to see when he actually catches, what inning he will catch. He will not pitch until late in the game, and that's more than likely to just one batter. But the catching, I think, is going to obviously be the most difficult spot for Andrew.
Yes, indeed.
The 0-2. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
You wonder if there's a certain pitcher that Brad would have in the bullpen that he might elect to throw to Andrew Romine, somebody that has a really nice, clean, easy delivery ball that doesn't move a whole lot.
McCann loops it to right field. That'll drop. Base hit. Navarro is on his way to third, and he is in there standing up. But Aaron, a bloop single to put runners at the corners. Well, stay tuned to Tigers Live. Following the game, we'll be selecting the Fox Sports Detroit Tigers Player of the Game, presented by McDonald's. Stop by for your breakfast favorites, now being served all day. Here is Brian Holiday. He is catching today for the Tigers. So Holiday at some point is going to have to move over to a different position, or potentially out of the game. Holiday looks at ball 1.
Brad played in the last game where Shane Halter of the Tigers played all 9 positions. Brad played 3 positions that day. I'm sure catcher was one of them.
I believe the other 2 were second and third. There's a slow roller foul.
Second makes a whole lot of sense.
You know, Brad was pretty honest about it. He said that he wanted to do it for Romine because Andrew is one of those guys that shows up to the ballpark every day. He's not a star player, but he's good at what he does, an integral part of the ball club, and he just wanted to give him an opportunity to put his name in the record books, get a little bit of recognition.
It's a nice gesture by Brad that he thinks that way of Andrew. I know we all respect the way that Andrew goes about his business, the way that he carries himself as a professional.
This, however, has been in the works for a couple of years. They first talked about doing it in the 2015 season, and of course the Tigers went down to the final day last year in the pennant race. There's a chopper left side, should be 2. That's a 6-4. No, safe at first base.
Adrianza having a difficult day so far at that second base position.
A run will score to tie the game. Looked like a routine double play ball.
It was a nice feed by Polanco. Polanco was playing B. Holiday in the hole, and he had to get a lot on his throw to Adrianza, but for whatever reason, when the ball got to the second baseman, he had to double clutch. He could not get the ball out of the glove. Didn't have a clean handle on it by the time he got it over to first base. Brian Holiday, and touching the bag with that left foot.
Ooh, or did he? Yeah, they waved it off. Brian Dozier getting the day off today. Here is Romine. Andrews slicing one up the middle into center field, a base hit. I'll send Holiday to second.
And Romine's mom and dad, sisters, wife, all in attendance to watch him play all 9 positions here today. So it's a family affair.
Yeah, they had to change their travel plans because they had originally booked their flights to be here tomorrow morning. And now that things have been pushed up because of a possible threat of rain here tomorrow.
Don't say that word.
I used possible and threat of rain. They wanted to make sure that Andrew would be able to do it, so the game was pushed up to today, and the family had to scramble. Here's Jacoby. Jones 1 for 3 last night. He did not go, says Tim Timmons down at first. 1 ball and 1 strike. Tigers taking advantage of an error by Adrianza, a bloop single by McCann, and a bobble on a potential double play ball at second base. One and 2. Each ball club now with a run on 2 hits. Rolled foul. Slegers played his college ball at Indiana, was an All-American there, and a 5th-round pick back in 2013 by the Minnesota Twins. They feel he has potentially a spot in the rotation going forward.
Probably was a pretty good high school basketball player with all that height.
Yeah, I would think so.
6'10".
Low and away, and the count goes to 2-2. Missed with a breaking ball on Jones. Iglesias waiting on deck. Three and 2. Slegers originally came up this year to pitch a game in a doubleheader. He was the 26th man in a doubleheader, and he started against the Indians. That was back on August 17th, and really pitched quite well. 6 1/3, 2 hits, 2 runs.
After having the kind of year that he had in AAA, he probably should be in their rotation next year.
There's a high drive to center, hit pretty good. Granite is on the move all the way to the warning track. Runners will tag but hold. Jones put a jolt into that one, but not deep enough. 2 gone. Yeah, I think that's the plan, Rod. I think that they feel Slegers can be a guy that can go out there at the 5th day next year. And we talked about this last night. This is an organization that has had trouble really kind of cultivating pitching over the last 5-6 years. More than that.
In the 2 trades that they made at the trade deadline, when they traded away Jaime Garcia and Kinsler, they got 3 pretty good left-handed pitchers back. One real young guy. And but the other 2 guys, 2 left-handers, they'll be knocking on the door of the big leagues real soon.
Here's Iglesias with 2 outs. Eight of 9 now for Slegers in first pitch strikes.
That is pretty good.
Now they go 1. Ground ball to third base, and it's scooped up there by Escobar. They'll get the force to retire the side. We'll see where Romine is going defensively next half inning. field tonight. Here is Chevrolet's most dependable player. It's going to be Romine, and here are career numbers, games by position for Romine. You can see a majority of them on the left side of the infield. He has moved to center field right now. The Tigers have juggled up their outfield, so it'll be Romine in center. That'll be his second position played. Check off left.
I'm going to try to have a really clean score sheet here today if I could pull that off so I can get Romine to sign it. But with all these changes, I'm trying to figure out if I want to write him in everywhere.
Presley now is in left, Romine in center, Jones in right.
What are you going to do? Because I know you're going to get yours signed.
Yeah, well, I mean, what can you do? It's just going to be messy. I don't think there's any way around that, do you? See if this Station played. Will, and Nick calls it in, and Castro's out of there.
No, probably not. I'm going to try my best, though.
You know, I try to be as neat as I can with my penmanship on days like today, where you want to make everything nice and neat, give yourself a lot of room, and it just never works. Just don't have neat penmanship. Here is Adrianza. 2 out of 4 last night with a double. Adrianza batting .268. Strike one. Buck Farmer had a very long first inning, and he could really use a 1-2-3 frame here in the second.
He threw nearly 40 pitches in that first frame.
Flared out of play. 0-2 on Adrianza, who's played first, second, third, short, played some outfield as well, so very versatile in his own right.
And a switch hitter, and with a little bit of speed.
One and two. High fly ball, shallow left. Presley coming in. 2 gone. Much better start to this inning for Farmer. Here is Zach Granite. For as tough as that first inning was for Buck, he did give up just the 1 run. It came on the bases loaded walk. Granite is over 1 with a fly ball. You know, when you do one of these games with a player playing all 9 positions, it really does affect other guys on your team. It's not just Romine, because there are going to be some Tigers that are going to have to play some positions today that they're really not comfortable with.
Right.
And so it does affect other guys. And Brad was very, careful in talking to the team about it, and also talking with Paul Molitor to let him know this is what we're planning on doing, making sure he was okay with it. Here's the ball low.
They do have a lot of interchangeable parts, though. And B. Holiday, he can play some first. He can play a little bit of second base as well. Castellanos obviously can play the infield and the outfield now. Machado can play every single position, so he can move wherever they need him to move to.
Here's another walk for Farmer, this one of the 2-out variety, and his 3rd of the game. Yeah, that versatility with a lot of the Tigers certainly will help. Mauer is, well, he has a walk and a run scored. No official trip to the plate. This is how we'll keep tabs on Andrew throughout the course of the game today. Out in center field right now in inning number 2. He played left field in the first inning. Runner goes and is lined to left field, and Presley will make the catch.
And Joe Mauer swung at the first pitch. How about that?
No runs, a walk, and 1 man left. Ball game. A lot of Tigers fans here. This one trying to hit every single ballpark. And now the Tigers coming to the plate here in the top of the third, facing Aaron Slegers. Into the top of the lineup, PRESLEY will lead things off. That is in there for a strike, 0-1.
Slegers is a strike throwing machine. Just about every first pitch strike has landed in the glove of Castro so far this evening.
In there, a strike called.
Looks real cool, calm, and collected, doesn't he?
That he does. There is an old saying in baseball that goes, the best pitch in baseball is first pitch strike.
Yep.
And he has done plenty of that. Strike one is always the best pitch.
Yeah, the batting average, if you do get strike one, is usually right around 200 against the opposing batters. 1-0, that batting average goes up to about 300.
PRESLEY swings and misses. One away here in the Tiger third. By the way, Tiger season ticket holders, renew your season tickets now through October 6th to be eligible for a 30 prizes in 30 days raffle and a chance to win once-in-a-lifetime fan experiences. Go to tigers.com/seasons to renew today. Machado lays down a bunt. Slegers will throw him out. And there are two gone. 1-3 on that putout.
Good idea by DIXON.
Here's the Bernstein advantage as Castellanos comes to the plate. 100 RBI seasons in the last 30 by homegrown Tigers. Got Bobby Higginson a couple of times, Tony Clark, Travis Fryman, and really that's been it.
Yeah, it's been a long time since a homegrown Tiger. And it drove in 100 runs. 17 years.
Nick flied out his first time up.
I believe that's going to change as the Tigers change directions and start to rebuild from the minor leagues again and start to focus on player development. And there will be a lot more guys coming from the minor leagues into the big league scene.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I mean, you look at what the Tigers have done over the last decade, and they have been in win now mode every single season, which meant that they would go out and pay money for the top free agents available and also make trades at the deadline. But that, in effect, would take a lot of their prospects and ship them to other teams, which left them really light in the minor leagues. Nick rolls it foul.
Well, their general manager now, Al Avila, has said publicly that they're going to try to build from within. They've got instructional league going on right now down in Florida where they have all their top prospects. So as soon as the season is over, I know Al and a lot of his chief lieutenants will go down there and watch the young kids play.
The 1-2.
Here's Al and his assistant David Chad.
It'll be a busy offseason. Of course, job one is finding a new manager for the ball club. Oh, Nick takes another one outside. 3-2.
They've already started that process. Al has already interviewed a couple of in-house candidates on the Tigers coaching staff, a couple of guys that want to manage in the big leagues. That would be Dave Clark and also Omar Vizquel. Both of those guys have had their interviews already.
Nick went around, strike three, and that'll end the inning. 1-2-3 frame for Aaron Slegers. team history, and here are some of the names of the past that the Tigers have drafted. They're on course right now for a top 3 pick. They're guaranteed at least a top 3 pick. Romine, by the way, is in right field, so that is his 3rd position of the game. Started in left. We can check that off. Then center, and now right.
Check, check, check.
Farmer back to work, and he'll throw down low to Jorge Polanco. Singled in the 1st inning. Breaking ball, tap foul. Polanco, and then Rosario, and then SANO. Ground ball, first base side, scooped up there by Navarro. 1 up, 1 away. Eddie Rosario is 0 for 1 with a fly ball. He is 1 for 5 in the series for Minnesota. Ripped to right field, base hit. Make it 2 for 6. 1 on with 1 out. Twins now have their 3rd hit of the game. They'll bring up Miguel Sano. Rob, we're talking about Sano trying to get back into somewhat of playing shape here as the postseason approaches. If you're Paul Molitor, what are you looking for out of Sano here the next couple days?
Well, you're not necessarily looking for results. I mean, you're looking for health. I mean, you just want him to be healthy and to be able to run down the line. And if he can run a little bit, then I have a feeling they will have him on the roster when they play on Tuesday. You just want health. Results aren't that important because you are looking for the advantage of just having him in the lineup because of the damage that he can do.
And a lot of damage has been done this year. 28 home runs for Sano, 77 RBIs. Swing and a miss. He dropped down to 1 knee that time.
Yeah, that's a good pitch, and I wouldn't throw him anything but breaking balls, to be perfectly honest with you, because he's missed about 30 days. And a lot of times guys can hit the fastballs because guys have hit fastballs their entire life. But when you've missed that much time, it's tough to get the timing of the off-speed pitches down.
Another breaking ball did not go.
That's why guys that aren't necessarily hard throwers at the beginning of the season, those guys usually get off to really good starts, guys that have good changeups, good breaking balls, because most pitchers' eyes really aren't accustomed to seeing a lot of breaking balls yet.
That'll miss inside. He came in with a fastball but tied him up. 2-1.
I would not throw him a fastball here. If I was Buck Farmer, I would throw him a breaking ball, either that curve ball or the slider, and Sano will swing at it because he's geared up for that fastball. And judging by where B. Holiday set up, it looks like they might want to try to throw him a fastball inside. You better get it in. They tried that with Dozier last night. Here comes that breaking ball.
Swing and a miss.
Knew he'd swing.
2-2 now on Sano, who missed 38 games with a left shin stress reaction.
Outstanding pitch here by Buck. A 2-1 count. You know Sano's looking for a fastball, and a good call by B. Holiday. And going right back with that slide piece.
See you later.
Look out, Buck.
SANO is out of there as he waves and misses.
I think the last time we were in Minnesota and SANO was playing, we did a hot and cold zone on him, and that pitch right there at 82 miles an hour on the outside, black at the knees, that was one of his cold zones, and the Tigers were able to exploit that weakness the entire series.
They pounded him there. I remember that.
Yeah, yeah. Strikeout after strikeout after strikeout.
Here's Kepler. I mean, there comes a time as a hitter, though, that you expect that pitch, right?
Yeah.
And what do you do about it?
Well, you just have to start to be unselfish. You have to start to look to drive the ball the other way or to drive the ball up the middle. You can't still try to hit that ball out of the ballpark. And I think once SANO learns how to cut his swing down just a little bit with 2 strikes, he'll be a much better hitter.
Kepler drew the walk in the first with the bases loaded to drive in the Twins' only run. His 69th RBI. Romine again is in right field. He started in left in inning number 1, then he went to center, and now he's in right here in the 3rd. Swing and a miss.
Now, was that your catchphrase you came up with? Romine for all 9?
Oh, no.
9 for Romine?
No, there's been a couple of them, actually. I think, you know, the writers started it, and it was all over Twitter.
Yeah. I thought you came up with that.
No, I'm not that creative.
You came up with mechanic.
No.
You started that.
You want to keep giving that to me.
You started that, didn't you?
Well, I was the first one maybe in this booth to use it. But I'm sure somewhere in the minor leagues it had to be said, don't you think?
I don't know. He said he never heard that name till he got here.
Really? Okay.
So
the hashtag the Tigers are using is Romine all 9.
Romine all 9?
Yeah. Unless, of course, we only play 8.5 innings tonight, then it's Romine all 8.5.
I kind of like the Romine all 9. It rhymes a little better, flows.
Yeah, the other one's a little cumbersome. There's a swing and a miss. Kepler's out of there, and that'll take care of the Twins. Romine has 3 straight innings of the book now at different spots. The 4th inning, and a reminder that Detroit's #1 mascot Paws is available to appear at your next special event. Bring Major League fun to birthday parties, corporate events, parades, and school functions. To book Paws for your next special event, go to tigers.com/paws. All right, so Romine has been in left, center, and right, and we shall see where he's going next. You got any guesses?
3rd, I'm going to
base?
guess.
All right. And then Nick goes to the outfield?
Yep.
In the meantime, the Tigers will bat here in the top of the 4th. It'll be Navarro, McCann, and Holiday. Ball 1 inside to Navarro, who hit a ground ball right to Adrianza in his last at bat. It was booted, and that opened the door. And the Tigers ended up getting a run. Pulled again to Adrianza. This time he makes a whale of a play. Wow. Flagged it off to his left and threw him out.
It took tremendous concentration and a little bit of luck for Adrianza to make this play. It was absolutely whistled off the bat of EFREN NAVARRO. And it was a one-hopper. And nice agility with the glove. Nice athleticism with that glove. Look what I found.
Now, if he did not make that play, we would have said Olay. He was able to flag it down.
And rightfully so.
Here is McCann. Slegers had a 1-2-3 third inning with 2 strikeouts, and he has punched out 3 in the game now.
He's doing a pretty nice job. He's only thrown 49 pitches. 1 out here in the 4th. A lot of first pitch strikes.
To the gap in right center field. Granite on the run. He'll cut it off. Nice running play by ZACK Granite. And there are 2 gone. Here is Brian Holiday. 50 now for Slegers. Holiday with an RBI ground ball in his first at bat. Brian, originally a member of the big club in Detroit from 2012 to 2015. He was drafted by the Tigers in 2010, was a 6th round pick. Played his college ball at TCU.
They got a pretty nice program at TCU these days.
And I'm sure they're proud of their alum.
Slegers 12 of 15 in first pitch strikes so far.
Bouncer to first. Mauer has it. Slegers a 1-2-3 4th inning. Johnny Kane will join the Romines when we come back. Mine now has moved to third base. Get your red pen out, Rod. There you go.
Yep. Check, check, check.
Okay. We got third base off now. And Buck Farmer back to the hill as Escobar leads it off. And he fouls the first pitch back. Let's bring in Johnny Kane now. Johnny.
Hi, guys. It is my distinct pleasure, and I mean that wholeheartedly. I am with the Romine family. Sister Rebecca here on the end. His wife Catherine right here. Mom June. And we have Janelle with young baby James. James' first baseball game ever at 7 months old. So we're all witnessing a little bit of history here, and I'm going to start with you, Mom. All right? I know that, listen, all mothers are proud of their children. For someone like Andrew, what makes you most proud of him having this opportunity today?
Yeah, I'm proud that he wanted to do it, that he sees that the history of baseball and making marks like this are important, and that you should try to do that if you can. I'm grateful to the Tigers organization for enabling him to be able to do this. That was a big stretch for them, and I'm really grateful to them for that.
What can you tell us about Andrew, not the baseball player, Andrew, the son?
Oh, he's a great guy. You've met him, right?
I know he is.
He's a good guy.
Yeah.
And he's really a player who appreciates his fans and the people that enable him to be out there on that field playing.
I know that Andrew, when they've been trying to put this in the works for a little while, and he had an opportunity once they decided they were going to do it this series. He said the first person he called was his wife, or maybe he sent you a message and he said there were a lot of emojis. That was the reaction.
Yes, a lot of emojis and directions to change my flight. Get on an earlier flight.
Yeah, because I know initially it was going to happen Sunday, but because of the inclement weather in the forecast, we're doing it today, and that's good because everybody's able to be here.
Yes.
How important do you think it is to him, or maybe not the importance, but how significant do you think this is for him and for his career?
I think it just gives him a little bit of a solidification and something to kind of give him a boost, a confidence booster, to know that the work that he does around the field defensively and all of that kind of stuff is recognized and appreciated. And I think it's also just something fun for him to get to do and to get to kind of showcase what he is really, really good at.
I know there's a giant Andrew Romine fan section in Detroit, and I'm part of it. I can say that, you know what I mean? But I wanted to say, what do you think that people like about Andrew? What can you tell us about, what do we not know about Andrew that people need to know?
Oh,
be careful, she said.
What did you say?
Mom says be careful.
What do we not know about Andrew? I think people probably know this with their interactions with him, but he loves kids, loves babies, and so if you're ever interacting with him and you have a baby, just walk right on up and he will be glad to interact with you. Yep.
Well, that's good. We do have the one baby here. Sister Janelle and baby James, tell me one good thing about your brother.
One good thing about Andrew. There's a lot of good things about Andrew. Andrew's a really good guy. One very proud big sister. He's grown up to just be a very caring and respectful young man, and I think that may be the proudest. He puts family first, and he thinks of his baseball team as his family, and his fans are his family. And he's been in Detroit for a little while now, and I think he kind of thinks of it as a second home. And I love when baseball brings family to town, so go Tigers.
Go Tigers, James. Exactly right. Exactly right. All right, we'll set it back up, but I do want to talk to Rebecca really quickly here. This is a big moment for the family. How do you think you guys will celebrate as a family after tonight?
Oh, as a family, just more family time and lots of ice cream. Lots of ice cream and a lot of junk food that he probably wouldn't eat during the season.
All right, so there is some icing on the cake, I guess you guys might say. So we'll sit it out here and enjoy our time with the Romine family. We'll continue to witness history along with everybody else back home, guys.
All right, thanks very much. Very well done there, Johnny Kane, Andrew Romine. Boy, the Romine family, you've got to be proud of them, I'm sure.
Well, they're awfully proud of Andrew. That much we do know. Big sisters are proud of him, and moms are always proud of the boys.
Here's the fly ball to right field. It's going to be playable for Castellanos to the warning track. Adrianza's out of there, and there are two gone now. So Romine is at third base. He started in left, went to center, went to right, now in third, which means Nick goes to right field. And a lot of pride down there for the Romines. I mean, this is something that hasn't been done, as we mentioned, in the history of the game all that often, just 4 other times. And Andrew now will become the 5th today.
And more than likely, he will move to the shortstop position next half inning, and Iglesias will slide over to the third base position.
There's a ball outside to Zach Granite. When he eventually catches, he's going to use his brother's glove, Austin Romine, as a catcher for the New York Yankees.
That's pretty cool.
And Austin shipped him his glove and said, here, don't worry about breaking in a new glove. Just use one of mine.
Brother wants to be part of history, too.
That's right. 2-0 the count on Granite. Walking a fly out for the leadoff man for the Twins. Here's Farmer's 2-0. Popped in the air to center field, straight at Jacoby Jones. And Buck Farmer gets through the fourth with no problem. On our way to the fifth.
Call of the game, and today is really all about Andrew Romine and his quest to play all 9 positions. He's already played 4. He has 3 putouts. He had 2 of those in left field, 1 at third base, and he's also singled. So Romine so far so good.
And Andrew will be leading things off as we go to the 5th inning. It'll be the bottom 3, Romine, Jacoby Jones, and then Jose Iglesias. Still tied at 1 in this ball game. The Twins got a run in the first. Tigers responded with 1 in the second. Here's the tally board on Romine. Andrew had a single to center field in his first at bat. He lines one foul to left. Andrew now with a 5-game hitting streak. Romine last night, a couple of singles, stole a base. That'll dive low. 2 balls and 1 strike on Romine. One more game to go tomorrow. That'll wrap up the 2017 season for the Tigers. A little bit outside, now run it to 3-1.
Sleggers doesn't walk many. He only walked 29 batters in nearly 150 innings in the minor leagues. And judging by watching him through the first 4 frames here today, this guy is a strike thrower. You can see why he's won so many minor league games. 43 and 29 in his career in the minor leagues.
Again, foul back into the seats. You see the Romine families taking some photos of Andrew at the plate. The 3-2. Andrew and his brother Austin grew up around major league ballparks and clubhouses. Kevin Romine, their dad, played in the major leagues. And there's a walk. Romine aboard for the second time in the game. It's a leadoff base on balls.
It's the first walk issued by Sleggers tonight.
Here is Jacoby Jones. Tigers got their run in the second on an error, a single, and a fielder's choice ground ball.
And Sleggers threw Jacoby Jones quite a few breaking balls. His first time up before Jacoby and flew out to center field. And something else I've noticed with Sleggers, his relationship tonight with the Castro, the catcher, hasn't really shaken him off often. Kind of allowing Castro to call the game.
Showing bunt. 1-1.
Good pitch to bunt right there, getting that slider on the outside part of the plate. Escobar was giving it to him. Escobar's playing about even with the bag now. Since you brought up that conversation about Jacoby Jones bunting a little bit more, he's attempted to do it. He's thought about doing it.
Yeah, we talked about it. What was on the last homestand, where a guy with his speed that has been struggling as much as he has, why not, utilize the bunt a little bit more, because he really hadn't done it a whole lot.
Yeah, Jacoby has punched out nearly half of his plate appearances in the big leagues. You see, they like to pitch him. I mean, everything is down in that, down and away, down and away. Guess where they're going? Down and away.
We told you Sluggers had a really good season down at AAA with 15 wins this year, but overall in 5 minor league seasons, he's 43-29.
Pretty good.
And his ERA 3.5.
Not a lot of walks.
Low ball 2.
Here's where Jacoby Jones sometimes gets himself into trouble. When they've thrown him so many breaking balls, he starts to look for breaking balls with 2 strikes, and then when he gets a fastball that's hittable, he can't pull the trigger because he might be looking for that breaking ball. And that just comes with maturity and learning your swing and learning what opposing pitchers try to do to you.
Ground ball to third. Escobar to second, 1, and the relay not in time. Jones with the speed to beat it out. Twins deciding whether or not to have him look at it. It was close. Yeah, they wouldn't reverse that. So the Twins will not have them look at it. So here's Candelario now coming on. He will hit for Iglesias. Jamer's been dealing with that sore wrist, but it does not bother him when he bats lefty. Runner goes. Here's the throw from Castro. It's high, not in time. Stolen base. 6 steals now for Jacoby in 8 tries.
Jacoby had a great jump. It's a straight steal as well. And you can tell because Jacoby never looked in toward home plate and to see whether Candelario was swinging the bat.
Candy played in last night's game and had a tough go of it. Struck out 3 times. He ended up 0 for 4. Numbers overall this year now 289 in the big leagues.
I thought that Brad would just flip-flop Iglesias and Romine. And since Iglesias has played some third base in the big leagues, but the last time Iglesias played third base in the big leagues was 2013 when we first got him from Boston.
So it's been a while then. Dylan G warming up.
But I'm sure Iggy can handle it though.
Slice to left field, base hit. Jones rounding third. They'll send him home. Here's the throw to the plate, not in time. Throw down to second, and it's into center field. Candelario is up. He'll go to third, and he'll stop there. The Tigers have taken the lead. RBI single for Candelario. Big stolen base by Jones.
And nice swing here by Candy, lacing that ball the opposite way. Rosario in left field has a really good arm, but Dave Clark did not hesitate one bit, sending Romine. Romine with an outstanding jump and a really good turn at third base. Candelario really hustling after he saw the ball go all the way to home. And because of Castro throwing the ball into center field, Candelario able to get to third base. That'll be an error on the catcher.
And it's going to be it for Sleggers. He is out of the game. Wall side windows pitching change will return. Sports Detroit is brought to you by Bell Tire. Tires and auto service. Everybody needs a Bell Tire guy. And by Chevy, the only brand to earn J.D. Power Dependability Awards for cars, trucks, and SUVs 2 years in a row. Johnny Kane earlier today went to Matt's Bar and Grill to sample what is known as the Juicy Lucy hamburger, a local favorite here, and we'll have more on that a little bit later. Johnny loves his food.
Yes, he does.
The new right-hander on now for the Twins, that is Dylan G.
And Dylan spent some time with the Texas Rangers this season as well. Overall 3-2 with a 3.51 ERA, the former New York Met.
So the Tigers have scored a run. The RBI hit by Candelario. He went all the way to third base. The infield in. Presley, the batter, and he looks at a strike. Ground out, strikeout for Presley. Alex with a 6-game hitting streak. His longest this year was a 10-gamer back in July. 0-2. Jacoby Jones, a big stolen base in this inning, setting up the run. The RBI single by Candelario. Bouncer to the shortstop. They're going to try and score the run. Throw to the plate. Tag. And the ball is dropped by Castro. The run will score. Candelario comes in on a ball hit right to the drawn-in infield and right to Polanco.
Yeah, that's a gamble. It's a predetermined play before the ball is put in play. Dave Clark told Candelario, you're going on contact. That's why Candelario, he took off as soon as the ball was put in play. But Castro not able to catch the ball and apply the tag. It's a nice feed by Polanco, their shortstop.
Tigers lead 3-1. Now DIXON Machado still only 1 out in the inning. Machado fouls it back 0-1. DIXON in search of his first hit in the series. He is 0 for 6.
DIXON has slowed down considerably in the second half. He was performing very well, getting quite a few base hits first half of the season, but his bat's gone kind of cold lately.
Machado was over 300 most of the year. Most of the first half. Came in at 264 tonight. Ball missing low and outside. Tigers have scored a pair here to go up 3-1. RBIs for Candelario and Presley. And there's a base hit up the middle. Presley will go to second and stop there. 2 on now. Tigers fans, if you can't catch the games on TV, you can stream them live on your mobile device with Fox Sports Go. Download the app and take Fox Sports Detroit and Tigers baseball with you wherever you go. That's going to bring up Castellanos now with only 1 out. Nick with a fly ball and a ground out. Ball 1 to Castellanos. Sluggers will end up going 4 1/3. 3 hits, 3 runs, 2 earned. 1 walk and 3 Ks. He threw 70 pitches. Here's the 1-0. Outside 2-0. It's going to bring Castro out to the mound. Here's the 2-0 now to Nick. Swing and a miss.
It's a good pitch right there by Dillon. Nice little cutter at 87 miles an hour. He knew better than to throw Nicholas a four-seam fastball, especially in the 2-0 count.
G only appeared in 4 games with the Rangers early this year. Drive to center, left center field, a base hit. They're going to try and score the run. Here's Rosario's throw to the plate, and the tag, and out. Eddie Rosario fired a bullet to Castro, and they apply the tag on Presley.
Well, it's the second time that Dave Clark has ran aggressively right in the face of Rosario, who has an outstanding throwing arm. Romine was able to make it home safely. Well, who's that? Romine?
No, that was Candelario.
Nice throw here by Rosario.
And a good take by Castro, and that keeps it a 3-1 ball game. So here is Navarro. A couple of shots at home plate by Rosario, and he made good on that one. Ball 1. Tigers now have 3 hits in this inning. They've had a stolen base. Navarro reaching on an error and scoring a run back in the second. Fouled away, 1 ball and 1 strike. Big swing there by Navarro. 1-2 the count on EFREN. Miguel Cabrera done for the rest of the year, which obviously is only tonight and tomorrow. That is the rest of the year. But there was some thought that Miggy might be able to play on this road trip, but they've decided to shut him down. So Navarro has gotten the lion's share of starts at first base. Here's the 1-2. Navarro hit a pair of homers in 1 game against the Twins. That was back on the last homestand for the Tigers. Had a really good year defensively and really with the stick down at Toledo this year. And with the tender back of Cabrera, he got a September call up here. Pulled foul just outside of the line. Dylan G, originally drafted by the Mets and spent the good portion of his early career with New York. Also some time with the Royals, Texas, and now Minnesota. 31 years of age. She had a couple of good years with the Mets. He won 13 one season, 12 in another campaign. Here's the 2-2 up and in. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Moya, the lefty, now starting to heat up in that Minnesota bullpen. Gabriel Moya. Runners going, a wave and a miss. That'll end the inning. Tigers grab the lead, though, and Tigers baseball today presented by Bell Tire. The 5th inning, Andrew Romine now will play shortstop as he moves 1 spot to his left. Time now for the AT&T reliability stat of the game. And here's what Romine is trying to do: play 9 positions in a single game. Last to do it was a Tiger, Shane Halter, against the Minnesota Twins. Campaneris, Tovar, and Sheldon the other 3. So Romine would become the 5th in the history of the game to do it. Joe Mauer leads it off and looks at ball 1 from Buck Farmer.
It's a pretty big deal, and to be able to play all 9 positions in a big league game.
Mauer with a walk and a run scored. He's also flied out, and there's a strike on the outer edge. 1-1.
Joe Mauer also swung at the first pitch his last time up, something that he very seldom does.
Cross shortstop off on the list, so we've got 4 more to go. A little bit outside, and the count goes 2-1 now in Mauer. Polanco and Rosario, 2, 3, and 4 in the Twins lineup. Jamer, of course, stays to the game and plays 3rd, so Iglesias is out of the game. Nothing really fancy about these changes. Brad mapped this out. He went left center to right, now 3rd to short. We'll see if he continues along the diamond. Two and 2 on Joe Mauer. Just got a piece to stay alive.
Next move for Romine, more than likely second base, but that's an easy exchange for Brad, because he can just flip-flop he and Machado. But more than likely, Navarro's going to have to come out of the game when he goes over to first base.
Mauer takes ball 3. Mentioned earlier that Mauer trying to reach the 2,000 hit plateau. He is 14, make it 15 hits shy of that plateau. There have only been 2 other Twins to get 2,000 hits, and that would be Puckett and Carew. That'll miss outside. A second walk of the ball game now for Mauer. And Buck puts the leadoff man on. Here is Polanco, a single and a ground out. Polanco has been productive, 37 RBIs in his last 41 games. Bouncers should be 2. Machado, Romine, and a double play. 4-6-3. Romine involved in another out. 2 gone.
Ball hits sharply and right at Dixon Machado. Romine gets to the bag. Real nice feed. Underhanded by Dixon, and Romine with plenty of time to complete the double play.
That is the Romine family who is all in attendance here today. They made the trip to Minneapolis. Farmer delivers a strike to Eddie Rosario. Honestly, it looked like Buck wasn't going to be around long today. Had that really long first inning in which he walked in a run, but has since settled in. Machado, nice sprawling play from the seat of his pants, throws him out.
What a pick by NAVARRO. Called him safe initially.
Now Farmer's saying, wait a minute, he is out. They did call him safe, and now it looks like the Tigers certainly going to want to challenge this. First base umpire is Tim Timmons. We'll see if the Tigers challenge it, but he looked out, and yet they will.
He's out.
Honestly, that play's not even close. It looked like he was out. This ought not to take very long. Ball. Then he hit the bag. Tigers pretty confident they will overturn it. And he is out. So that'll end the inning. Great play by Machado. 5 innings in the books.
Tigers and Lions in action. Tigers live pregame. We get underway at 2 o'clock tomorrow. You want to tune into that one. Final game of the regular season. Of course, Lions live. The postgame show will start around 4 o'clock on Plus. The Tigers live postgame show will start around 5:30. So you want to be keeping tuned in to Fox Sports Detroit and Fox Sports Detroit Plus, because we're talking baseball, we're talking football, and with football, how about this? Special guest, Tori Petrie, the sideline reporter for the Lions, is here. I got to ask you about last week. I'm listening to that Lions-Falcons game at the end. What happened?
Yeah, it was crazy. I think the referee came on the mic there, and Ford Field was just absolutely stunned. I mean, we've seen so many Matthew Stafford final drive comebacks. You just kind of thought it was going to be automatic. It was just going to happen. The referee comes on the mic, and everybody is just absolutely confused. It was a strange ending. It was a strange ending. So that dropped the Lions at 2-1. Still not a bad record, but now you're getting set to take on the Vikings tomorrow. That's a big game for this team. Yeah, I mean, Caldwell's message all week has been just put last week behind you. You just got to move on. People have wondered why he isn't as upset about the ending of that game as people want him to be, but he's like, I'm not going to have a woe is me attitude. What good is that going to do us? We've got our first divisional game this weekend, so he's trying to get his players ready for that one, and it's going to be a big one for sure. All right, Lions and Vikings tomorrow. That'll be 1 o'clock Eastern? 1 o'clock Eastern, noon here. Noon here. All right, so we got to get up. So we're going to head over there, maybe check out a tailgate if we can. And I know we have some fans that we met earlier today that came in from Detroit. They're going to be at the game tomorrow as well. So we look forward to your coverage tomorrow, and hopefully the Lions can get a win, and maybe the Tigers will do the same. Big Detroit sports day, right? It'll be a fun one. All right, Tori Petrie joining us here at in Minneapolis at Target Field. So we're looking forward to tomorrow for sure. But we got to get a win today before we start worrying about wins tomorrow, boys.
All right, Johnny. Yeah, right now so far is so good. They lead 3-1 as we go to the 6th inning, and Brian Holiday batting with 1 out. Holiday, fielder's choice to not get a run back in the 2nd. Back to the screen it goes. 1 ball and 1 strike. Got a wall side windows pitching change. Michael Tonkin is in now.
Yeah, 16th game for Tonkin this year. He's pitched only 19 innings. ERA approaching 6. 23 strikeouts, 12 base on balls. He's another tall guy. Slegger's the guy that started, was about 6'10". Tonkin's about 6'7", 6'8".
So they've gone with Sleggers and then G and now Tonkin out of their bullpen. Holiday waits on a 1-2, and he'll shoot one on the ground to second. Adrianza. Brian is out of there, 2 gone. We'll bring up Andrew Romine, who so far in this game tonight has played left, center, and right, 3rd and short. You would imagine second base will be his next position. Trying to become the 5th big leaguer in the history of Major League Baseball to play all 9.
And last time it was done by Shane Halter of the Tigers. I believe Shane Halter wore number 17 too, didn't he?
I don't know. I don't remember.
I believe he and Andrew Romine both wearing number 17 as they accomplish playing all 9 innings.
That would be ironic.
Very much so.
Well, Romine's had a good day in the field and at the plate, a single and a walk. Good day all the way around. Driven foul out of play. 0-2 on Romine. Castellanos was kidding Romine before the game today and said, dude, what if we have a lead in the 9th inning and you would come on to pitch and try and save the game? And Romine said, don't worry, it'll be green in the 9th inning. The pitching will take care of that well before the 9th. And again, all he has to do is pitch to 1 batter in this game. Did he go? Yep. Went around. Romine is out of there. Going to be a 1-2-3 inning. So we'll go to the bottom of the 6th, and Romine will head to a new position.
Pitch. Buck Farmer got off to a sluggish start in the very first inning. He walked a couple of batters and 3 ball counts on 4 of the 6. But he settled in nicely. In the next 3 innings, staying out of the middle of the plate, mixing in really good changeups, elevated fastballs, nice breaking balls as well, and pitching to a lot more contact. So Buck has did a nice job while he was in there.
Meanwhile, wall side change now as Chad Bell comes on.
Bell pitching in his 27th game. A couple of starts in between those 27 outings he's made out of the bullpen.
Miguel Sano leads it off. Andrew Romine has gone to second base with Machado moving to shortstop. Well, check off another one. 3 to go. Two and 0 on Sano. Strikeout single. He'll be followed by Kepler and then Escobar.
The interesting one will be when Romine puts that catcher's gear on.
That's the one that certainly will be the most difficult. But it's one that he's looking forward to. I mean, he's not afraid. He has caught some bullpens recently, actually.
He said he wanted no part of catching when he was growing up. Of course, his brother, a catcher, but Romine said he wanted to stay as far away from that catcher's gear as possible.
I asked Romine if he's got his own gear or if he's borrowing some. He said no, the manufacturer sent him his own gear. So he's been using his own catching gear. And as we mentioned earlier, his brother Austin Romine has given him one of his gloves so he doesn't have to break in a catcher's mitt. He'll just use one of his brothers.
I know it's been done 4 times prior to Andrew attempting to do it here tonight. I wonder if the Hall of Fame will ask for any of his gear tonight, cleats or glove or anything like that.
Yeah, I think that's probably a really good bet. I'm sure they will. Rolled foul. I mean, this is something that just doesn't happen.
Well, not a lot of guys can do it. I mean, there are very few players on any of the teams in the big leagues that have one guy that can play all 9 positions.
The 0-1 popped up, foul ground, third base side. Machado and Candelario. Candy can't get it, just out of his reach.
That might be something that they have to work with Candelario on in the offseason when they get into spring training, because we've seen him struggle with a couple of pop-ups this year.
The one that I think you're referring to is the one that was hit into short left that he had to circle on, and we thought Iglesias might come over to make the play, but he didn't, and the ball dropped in.
You're right. That's a real simple fix right there for Candelario. You just got to keep your feet moving, and that's one of the things you have to do when playing defense. Keep your feet moving, and then at the end of that play where he looked like he kind of misjudged it, instead of just reaching for it, you keep the feet moving and you run right underneath it. Kepler with new life.
Kepler is responsible for their only run tonight. He drew a bases loaded walk in the first against Buck Farmer, who is struggling mightily in that first inning, but then turned things around and gave the Tigers a solid 5 tonight before giving way to Bell here in the 6th. Swing and a miss. He got him to go fishing. 2 up, 2 down. Well, the Major League Baseball postseason is here. Watch every pitch, hit and strike out, every inning and game that has led to this. The only thing that matters now is October. Tune in for the ALDS beginning Thursday. It's on FS1, and all the teams are set in the American League. Going to see the Indians in there. You're going to see Houston as well. Boston won the East, and the Twins and Yankees will be the wild card. So ball outside to Escobar.
Got confirmation Shane Halter did wear number 17, so that's a nice coincidence between he and Andrew Romine both wearing the same number.
High fly ball center field, routine for Jones. Chad Bell comes in, has a 1, 2, 3, 6th inning. We go to the 7th. By T-Mobile. Welcome to the deeper coverage of baseball presented by T-Mobile. Here are some news and notes from around the league. Charlie Blackmon, man, this guy might be the MVP in the National League.
He would get my vote, man. 137 runs, only leadoff hitter in 102 RBIs. That's the most in history of a leadoff guy.
3 teams now with 100 wins: Dodgers, Indians, Houston, and Steven Strasburg. He could be a key for them in the postseason.
How deep is that Washington Nationals starting lineup? I mean, their starting staff with Scherzer, and Gio Gonzalez, and Strasburg.
Pretty deep. They will be a difficult matchup in the National League. Jacoby Jones reaching out a fielder's choice and stealing a bag. He scored a run after that in his last at-bat.
Being told that Max Scherzer left his start tonight. Apparent injury. Don't know exactly what that injury is, but he did leave his start.
Two balls, one strike. Blaine Hardy now in the Tigers bullpen. Jones again showing like he might want to bunt. 3-1. Candelario next, and then Presley. Ground ball, third base side. Escobar. Jones is out. Fans see the Tigers play the Mariners in Seattle next year. Tigers vacation packages include luxury accommodations, tickets to 4 games at Safeco Field, exclusive brunch with Tigers personnel, and a whole lot more. If you'd like more information, go to tigers.com/vacations. One away for Jeimer Candelario. RBI single and a pinch hitting roll in the 5th inning. Strike called on Candelario. Tied him up there 0-2.
Yeah, that was an awkward looking swing by Candelario. Real nice breaking ball by Tonkin.
Candelario's on base percentage since joining the Tigers has been through the roof.
going to be interesting to see where the new manager next year puts Candelario in the lineup, whether he occupies that number 2 spot or whether they bump him down a little bit further in the lineup.
Bouncing ball to third. A couple of steps to his right, Escobar. And there are 2 gone now here in the 7th. Fans, the Red Cross depends on financial donations to provide disaster relief immediately. You can help people affected by Hurricanes Harvey and Irma by visiting redcross.org, or if you'd like, text the word Red Cross to 90999, and you'll make a $10 donation by doing so. What a gorgeous night here tonight in Minneapolis. The Tigers playing game 2 in this 3-game series, the final series of 2017.
What you got on that moon? I know Gibby was educating you on moons all year long.
Yeah, but I don't listen when he does that.
No?
No. It's just too complex for me.
Tuned him out?
Yeah. Romine's got the gear on. It appears he's going to catch next.
Got his own new gear on.
Oh boy. It's going to be fun to watch. You know, Romine's heart's thumping a little bit right now.
You know it.
I mean, he is comfortable anywhere else on the baseball field, but this, he can handle it. He knows he can, but it'll be interesting.
And you can tell in that dugout that the guys are a little nervous with him on the catcher's gear. They weren't nervous when he was playing the other positions, but they're a little nervous now and getting some last-minute instructions from B. Holiday.
High fly ball, left center field, playable. Granite and Rosario, and it's Rosario. It's a 1-2-3 7th inning coming up. The Consumers Energy 7th inning stretch, and Romine will catch.
It's Miller time, and it is brought to you by Miller Lite. For those of you just joining us, Andrew Romine is attempting to play every single position on the field here today. He's played left, center, right. He's played third, short, second. Now he's going to catch, and he's also chipped in with the bat. So nice day so far for Andrew Romine.
So Romine has the gear on. We'll check off catcher. There we go. 2 left, pitch and first base. At least Romine's got a smile on his face right now.
Yes, he does.
And he will catch Blaine Hardy, who will come into the ball game now.
Romine has caught in a game before, but it was in spring training, and it was back on the minor league fields. This was a couple of years ago.
Holiday, meanwhile, will move to second. No balls and 1 strike on Jason Castro. Down the right field line, but foul. Wall side windows pitching change for Hardy.
And Hardy in 33 games this season with the big club, 5 holds. Also spent quite a bit of time down in Toledo this season.
One and two. Just got a piece of it. So far, so good.
Well, you know, calling his own game too.
You know, Brad knows how difficult that position is.
You know it.
18 years as a major league catcher. Hardy now with the 1-2. Lifted in the air. Center field for Jones. And one gone. It'll bring up Adrianza. Couple of fly balls for Adrianza. Slice to right center. Jones on the run. Jacoby still going. Dives. And Jones can't hold on. That would have been a spectacular catch, but Jacoby just couldn't squeeze it. It'll go as a 1-out double. Jones upset with himself. He knew he had it.
Jacoby Jones can cover a lot of ground in the outfield. Great concentration, and as soon as the glove hit the ground, it jarred the ball loose. He held on to it for quite a bit of time.
What a play by Jacoby. Just could not hold on.
Man, does he take great routes in the outfield.
Hardy thought he made the catch initially.
Yeah, then he had to back up base.
Here is Zach Granite now, runner at second. And Granite shoots one to left, base hit. Here comes Presley charging. They'll try and score the run. And the throw will come into second. RBI single for Granite. Adrianza comes around to score, and it's 3-2 Tigers. It'll bring up Joe Mauer. Granite's first hit of the night.
You got to believe that Granite might try to steal second base here. We were talking about that a little earlier. You brought it up. What does Paul Molitor do if they're trying to win a ball game and Romine's behind the dish? Do they dare steal a bag on him?
Ball one to Mauer. Yeah, it's something that I think Molitor has to deal with here. In the spirit of what the Tigers are trying to do, you might think, well, maybe no, but he's trying to win a game here. Granite, good speed at first, and Hardy will keep him close. And we were talking about this exact scenario before the game, a one-run game late.
Yeah.
What would they do? Verhagen warming up.
I wonder if Brad would call a pitch out.
I was thinking the same thing.
To help him out a little bit. Just because he has an idea that Granite is going to try to steal a bag here.
In there, a strike called. Joe Mauer has 2 walks, a run scored. 1-run ball game here in the 7th inning. Tigers up by 1. 2-1. If Verhagen were to come into this ball game, he is a much different look for Romine behind the plate than Hardy is. Drew tuning up right now. And again, Hardy doing his best to make sure that Granite does not feel comfortable down there. A couple of steals this year for Granite. That's going to get away from Romine, go to the backstop and advance the runner. So the tying run now will move to second base. And that more than likely a pass ball.
Yeah, that's the only thing they can give that.
Meanwhile, 3-1 the count.
And Mauer, a great contact hitter, doesn't strike out very often.
Fouled away, 3-2. Blaine Hardy called up from AAA in the 1st of September. Brings home the 3-2. And Mauer looks at a ball inside. Ball 4. That'll put 2 men on.
Here's our Comerica Bank game summary. Yeah, here's how difficult it is to accomplish some of these feats in the game. Perfect games, no hitters, cycles, 4-homer games, playing all 9 positions. It's only been done 4 times.
Well, McCann is going to come in to catch now. Romine will leave in the middle of the inning from behind the dish. So Andrew will take the equipment off. So McCann catching means the Tigers now will lose the DH and Romine will run back out into the field. And go to second base. Holiday out of the game.
This is getting interesting now.
Holiday was at second, so he comes out of the game. Romine goes back to second base. So the catching position has been taken off the list, which means he needs first base and pitcher. Now the umpiring crew convening on the mound. I think they're trying to keep things straight as well. This has been a bit of something different and a bit of a challenge for them as well. Trying to keep that lineup card straight. That's James Hoy, the home plate umpire.
Apparently he had some questions for one of the other umpires, Tim Timmons, first base umpire. He is the crew chief here tonight.
Here are the positions tonight. 7 he has played. He's had 5 chances, 4 putouts. Now you've got Polanco up there with runners at first and second. Double by Adrianza, single by Granite scored him, walk to Mauer. In the air to shallow center. Jones coming on. And Jacoby will get there. Big out, 2 away. And that'll bring up Rosario now with 2 gone. Tying run remains at second base. 3-2. Tigers have the lead here in the 7th. Rosario 1 for 3. The other part of this that becomes really interesting now is it's a 3-2 ball game with the Tigers leading, and Romine has yet to pitch. But again, he will probably likely face just 1 hitter, and that's it. Fouled away. In a perfect world, it's a blowout for the Tigers, and you don't have to worry about things like that.
Right.
Brad had to take him out here from behind the plate with the tying run at second. Fly ball in the air towards center field. Jones going back, still going back to the track, right in front of the wall to make the catch. They will settle for 1 run to tighten it up. Tigers baseball presented by Bell Tire. Brought to you by Comerica Bank, a part of Detroit and the community since 1849. Your Metro Detroit Chevy dealers, visit ChevyDetroit.com. See why Chevy drives to Motor City. And by Wallside Windows, we can do that. We are the factory. We're at Target Field tonight where the Tigers are taking on the Twins. And right now it's a 1-run ball game. It's a Wallside Windows pitching change. John Curtis is in.
Yeah, Curtis has only been in a few games at this level, 8 games to be exact. And you see the earned run average is elevated. That will happen when you have 1 bad outing, when you haven't pitched that much.
2, 3, and 4 to face him. Machado, Castellanos, and Navarro in a 1-run contest right now. And DIXON looks at ball 1.
And Curtis has a fastball that gets all the way up to 96, sometimes 97 miles an hour. Throws a lot of sliders as well. Basically a 2-pitch pitcher. Fastball, slider.
He replaces Tonkin, who threw 2 innings. And DIXON looks at a ball inside, checked his swing. 3-0. In there, a strike called on the outer edge. Strike 2 on Machado. That ball on the inside corner, thought it might have missed. Bouncer back to the mound. Curtis flags it down. DIXON is gone, 1 away here in the 8th. It's going to bring up Nick Castellanos, who is 1 for 3 with a single. Kenny Vargas at first base. Mauer done for the night. Ball 1 to Nick. Curtis had nasty numbers down in the minor leagues this year. AA, AAA, a combined ERA of 1.28 with a 2-0 record.
He's got a pretty loose arm. That fastball to Nicholas, 94.
One and 2 on Nick. There is Daniel Stumpf. He is now tuning in the Tigers' pen. Looking at the Twins lineup, not sure where Romine would come into pitch. You got Sano, Kepler, Escobar, Castro, Adrianza. Those are the hitters due up. Romine has to throw to at least one batter to be qualified as playing all 9 positions in a game. There's another one outside, and Castellanos now has run the count full at 3-2.
Every last pitch that Curtis has thrown to Castellanos has been off the plate outside. Every last one of them. 2 of them breaking balls, the other 3 fastballs.
Nick with a single back in the 5th now has an 8-game hitting streak, which means he has hit safely in 30 of his last 32, and in that stretch was that 17-gamer he had.
Talk about finishing strong.
It's been a career year. 101 RBIs for Castellanos. Saw Nick at the hotel today and congratulated him on reaching 100 RBIs, and he did so with a home run. I said, he did it in style too, with a homer. And he said, yeah, but you know what, I would have taken a jam shot there because there was a guy on 3rd and nobody out.
All right.
He was either a sac fly, a little ground ball up the middle, just get that run in.
Anything to get to 100. That will look really nice on the back of his baseball card.
He ended up hitting it in the seats. And he got him, strike 3. Castellanos took one right at the bottom of the zone. 2 gone.
Second strikeout of the night for Castellanos. Sleggers, the starter, also punched him out. Good fastball at 96. The best fastball that Curtis has thrown in the inning.
Here is Navarro with 2 outs. EFREN reaching on an error in the second and scoring a run. Tigers got their first run back in the second. 3 runs, 5 Tigers hits tonight. 2 runs on 6 hits for Minnesota, but the Twins have stranded 8 men on base. McCann waiting on deck. Tigers have lost their DH with McCann coming in to catch. Good pitch. 2-2. Pitcher spot right now is 6th in the lineup. The old spot for Holiday, who's out of the game. And Romine has only to pitch and play first base to play all 9. Strike called. He got him looking, and it's a 1-2-3 inning for Curtis. We go to the bottom of the 8th. We will close out the season with Anibal Sanchez and Bartolo Colon.
Anibal Sanchez has pitched well in his last 3 or 4 outings. He would like to go out and to have one more positive start to end the season. And Bartolo Colon, 44 years old.
Well, Romine checks off another. He is going to pitch to Miguel Sano here, which I imagine will be the only batter he will face.
This is the first time the family has looked a little anxious.
1-run game, and now Romine to pitch to Sano. That'll get away to the backstop, 1-0. So he is caught, and now he is on the mound. The certainly 2 most foreign positions for Andrew. Down low, 2 balls, no strikes on Sano. Kepler, then Escobar. In there, a strike called right at the bottom of the zone, 2-1. Low ball 3. Daniel Stump still in the Tigers' pen. Sano grounds to third. Fielded there. Out at first base. Candelario throws him out. He got Sano one away.
Romine threw a little two-seamer up there. He got Sano to roll over.
I thought it might earn him another batter, but no dice.
No, that's it. Going to first base now.
Yeah, Brad breaking out the first baseman's glove. So Romine retires, the only batter he faces. Family's loving it. He got Sano to roll one to third, and Candelario did the rest. So another pitching change will step aside here in Minneapolis. Go to first base. He has now played all 9 positions in the same game, and so you can check off every single box. He went from left center to right, third, short to second. He caught, he pitched, and now first base.
He can breathe a little easier now that he's taking that catcher's glove off and he's off that mound.
Meanwhile, Daniel Stump coming out of the bullpen to face Max Kepler. So the Tigers now have Kinsler at second. They have Romine at first. Stump on the mound.
And now they can go ahead and win the ball game.
And they announced it on the big board here at Target Field, and Romine tipped his cap to the fans. He gave him a nice round of applause.
The numbers on Stump this year. Earned run average at 3.89.
Two balls, one strike. Swing and a miss. 95 in on his hands.
Yeah, tied him up.
Tigers are gone with Bell, Hardy, Romine, and Stump out of the bullpen. Got him, strike 3. Kepler is out of there, 2 gone.
Yeah, back-to-back fastballs in the mid-90s to punch out Kepler. It's the 3rd time Kepler struck out today.
Here's Eduardo Escobar. Tigers on top 3-2. We're in the 8th. Oh for 3 for Escobar. Chopper up the middle, Kinsler ranging right. And that is that. 1-2-3 inning, we go to the ninth. A sight indeed. It was really cool coming off the mound as well. And once again, the crowd here in Minneapolis acknowledging the feat of Romine tonight, the 5th player in the history of Major League Baseball to play all 9 in one single game. Nicely done.
Yeah, Romine also got a really huge hug from not only his teammates but from the skipper. And Brad Ausmus gave him a big hug.
Romine due 3rd in this inning. It'll be McCann, Kinsler, and Romine. In there, a strike call. McCann is 1 for 3.
You and I now can say that we witnessed a player playing all 9 positions in a game.
Yeah, it's I think to some, and Brad kind of talked about this before the game. He was asked that some fans might think this is kind of a stunt more than anything else. And I mean, when you do something that only 4 other players in over 100 years of baseball have done, I'm not sure I'd call that a stunt. It's pretty cool. And here are the positions played by inning for Romine. The hard part's over now. See if the Tigers can win this game.
Yeah, Romeo all smiles now. Really, he's been smiling all night.
Here's the 2-2, and McCann fouls it back.
Here's the hug we were talking about between Romine and the skipper Brad.
Ausmus was championing the effort to get him to do this and allow him to do it. The Tigers decided to give him the green light, and so a lot of folks have to be thanked in terms of how Romine is feeling right now. It'll pop up shallow right field. Adrianza's under it. So make this a 5-player list. First done by Bert Campaneris back in 1965.
I didn't know that Sheldon and Halter, did it in the same year.
Shane Halter, by the way, will be with the guys with Mick and Simo on Tigers Live post game. He'll talk about witnessing this, an event that he took part in back in 2000. He'll be calling into the Call Sam Studios to share his thoughts. First at bat for Kinsler tonight. Here's the 1-0.
Now, who do you think had Halter's phone number? Had to be John Keating, I bet.
Keating's got everybody's phone number.
I bet you it was John Keating.
Need a phone number? Call Keats. Walk and Rolodex. We've now received confirmation it was John Keating. Kinsler waiting on a 2-1. Big rip there. 2-2 the count. That's 11 straight now retired by the Twins bullpen in this one. Tigers lead by a run. Curtis came on in the 8th and got him 1-2-3. Fly ball, shallow right field. Kepler coming on. That's 12 in a row retired by the Twins pen.
Tigers closer Shane Green heating up, getting ready for the 9th.
Paul Molitor coming out to make a pitching change, and we will return. Stay connected with a fully customizable experience. Get Tigers home screen icons and features, as well as game day, live game video, highlights, and a whole lot more. Download MLB.com at bat today. So with 2 outs here in the 9th inning, they've got Glenn Perkins coming on here.
And Glenn Perkins, there was a time where he was closing games for Minnesota, and he was a very good closer for a number of years. He's only been in 8 games now this season, and because of injuries. 5 1/3 innings logged so far for Paul Molitor's Minnesota Twins.
So here is Romine to bat with 2 outs. Romine single walk and a strikeout in this game. Up and in. 1 ball, 1 strike on Andrew. Perkins off the DL on August 17th. A torn labrum in his left shoulder. Had surgery in June of last year. Popped up first base side. It's going to be Vargas. And that's going to be a 1-2-3 inning. We'll go to the bottom of the 9th. Tigers up by 1. Trying to become the 5th player in Major League history to play all 9 positions. He did it, including catching. He pitched to 1 batter. He got Miguel SANO to ground out. And Romine finishing up his odyssey with first base as the final position. Now the Tigers trying to win this game. What a night for Romine, making history here in Minneapolis. And Romy now hopefully will finish out the game with 3 outs here at first base. Tigers have Shane Green out of the bullpen.
And Shane Green, 8 saves this season in 12 attempts. That's since Justin Wilson was traded to the Chicago Cubs. 72 strikeouts for Greeny in 70 games, so averaging a strikeout per outing.
Garver leads it off. It pops up the first pitch, shallow center field. It's going to be Kinsler. 1 pitch and 1 out. That'll work. That'll bring up Adrianza. Adrianza looks at a strike, offered up a bunt there, yanked it back. 0-1. He's had a double in this game and a run scored. He tightened it up, scoring a run in the 7th to make it 3-2. That'll dart in for a strike.
And 94 two-seam fastball followed up with an 82 mile-per-hour slider with great break on it.
Outside. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Got him. Strike 3. Adrianza thought it was in tight. Caught the strike zone. 2 gone.
It's a good swing back fastball at 94 miles an hour thrown by Shane Green.
So it's Zach Granite now, the final chance for Minnesota tonight, trying to keep it going for the Twins. Ball 1 to Granite. It was his RBI single in the 7th that made it 3-2. Candelario is on the grass at 3rd in case of the bunt. One ball, 1 strike. Ooh, good pitch, and now the count is 1-2.
The backdoor breaking ball.
Greeny 1 strike away from shutting this one down. Two and 2. Should Granite reach? You got Vargas on deck. Bouncing ball to first, and how about this? Romine fields the ball and tags the bag for the out for the final out of the ball game.
Can't make this stuff up.
How appropriate is it for Andrew Romine, who becomes the 5th player in Major League history to play all 9, records the final putout. A 1-2-3 9th inning for the Tigers, and they hold on to win here tonight.
Well played game tonight by the Tigers. I know we highlighted Romine most of the evening, and rightfully so. But a well-played game overall by the Tigers.
Well, the Tigers in this game get RBIs from Holiday, from Candelario, and from Presley, and they hold on to win this thing by a score of 3-2. And it worked out about as well as it could for Brad Ausmus, who tonight allowed Andrew Romine to become the 5th player in the history of Major League Baseball to play all 9 positions in a single game. Not only that, but he caught the final out of the game.
First out and final out.